Hi everyone, today I'm sharing my holiday project with you. I've been continuing my investigation of the data from the Workplace Gender Equality Agency, and you can go to their website and look up any Australian company of over 100 employees and look at the data they've submitted for their annual reports from 2014. Now, these data sets are publicly available, but I've found they're not complete. And also, I have a competitive streak and I wanted to compare companies against each other directly. So I decided to make my own application. Now, I started with a desktop app written in Python. I'll show you that now. And just remember that this is very much a work in progress. So I've called the project No Man's Land because in previous workplaces I've landed myself in serious trouble with people in power for simply mentioning gender inequity in STEM or for celebrating the achievements of women in engineering and even for having a chat and sharing cakes with my all-male colleagues on International Women's Day. I've also been threatened with physical violence for simply succeeding at a technical task, and I've been fired by a CEO after I made an informal complaint because I was being subjected to misogynistic trolling and psychological abuse. So the true story is not really about the products I create, but the story of the extraordinarily unethical behaviour of the men and women in workplaces who aggressively silence these discussions. So I am way beyond the front line now, walking in no man's land, dodging the snipers and landmines, and there's no turning back. But I'm fortunate now to work in a company where these discussions are encouraged and positive actions are taken to improve the workplace culture. And that company is Boeing Defence Australia, so I'll start with them. So I'll search for the company and I add them to the list. And then I'll add one of their competitors, Kinetic, add them to the list. And for a bit of fun, I'll throw in Seymour College, add them to the list. And then I choose a topic. I haven't got all of the topics from WGEA up here yet, but I'm working on that. So today I'll just do family and domestic violence. I'll load the data. It takes a while to load the data, and I'll put up some sort of icon thingy at some stage. And once that's happened, we can create a race chart. Now this is a built-in race chart from a Python library, and it's taking a while because it not just creates the chart, it doesn't just create the chart, but it also creates a video. So we'll just wait for that. And here we go. So we can see that Seymour College starts on top with a score of 4. So it's answered yes to 4 questions. And we'll notice that it's increasing as the years progress. Boeing Defence Australia comes up a bit higher. And then finally, Kinetic comes out on top. So that means Kinetic has answered most of the questions that the WGEA asked them about how they deal with family and domestic violence, and they've answered most of their questions yes. So about halfway through this, I decided to start a web application with the idea of publishing it on a cloud platform so that others can play with it. Now this is also very rough at the moment. The drop down here, this is done in PyWeb.io and PyCharts. The drop down in here has a bit of trouble, so we'll start with Kinetic and we'll try to load up. Oops, here we go, it's not too happy. Boeing Aerostructures, Boeing Defence Australia, submit, and then we're going to select the topics: family, domestic violence, sex-based harassment, and flexible working. And we'll just wait for that chart to load up, all the data to be processed. And here we go. So you can see I'm using a different chart here. You can see I've got a few technical problems, like the company names aren't really appearing properly on the left margin there. Now each of these bars, they're for each of the topics: family, domestic violence, sex-based harassment, flexible work. And we can see a fly-up that's showing us the scores. So the scores are the percentage of questions that they answered yes, which means out of all of the actions that the WGEA has suggested companies take, they have done like that much of them, like for example 41% or 100% for sex-based harassment. And over here, these are actually the totals of the selected companies. Yeah, so you can see that I've got a few technical problems to resolve. There's a lot of work ahead of me, but I'm finding it a lot of fun. And so that's my holidays. So thanks everyone for watching.